In the current film landscape, there's no doubt that Portra is by far the most popular film stock. From supple, intimate portraits to hulking, mountainous landscapes, Portra can truly do it all. Because of this, it can become quite easy to only shoot or to just lean into Portra. From wanting to switch it up, finding new color profiles, or finding a cheaper alternative, there are a variety of options to replace Old Faithful, and I'm going to walk you through them. First up is Lomo 400. An extremely budget-friendly, yet great reliable and colorful option that comes in right around $38 for a 3-pack, coming to about $12.66 per roll in US dollars. Compared to the current state of Portra, where the cheapest I could find was $89 for a 5-pack, which comes out to be $17.80 per roll. Supposedly said to be a reborn Fuji Superior, Lomo 400 isn't just a budget consumer stock. With its punchy colors, low grain for 400 box speed, yet decent flexibility when you get to some low light, Lomo 400 is our first and most cost-effective Portra alternative. Next up is the original Fuji Superior Xtra 400. Fujifilm Superior Xtra 400 is an affordable color negative film coming in at $41 for a 3-pack from what I can find right now, which is about $13.66 per roll in US dollars. It is an average exposure latitude and has the typical Fujifilm look, cool magenta and greenish tones. Its 400 ISO makes a versatile film that performs well in daylight and some low light. When exposed well, it has very fine grain and medium contrast and saturation. Now, keep in mind when you're looking at the prices, they're definitely subject to change as availability and manufacturing changes. And as supply and demand changes, as more or less people shoot film, they have to change the prices to keep up with the current times. But just like I'm doing, it's easy enough to just quick crunch out how much it costs per roll. You could even do the development as well. But for this video, I'm specifically not including that because the development will be such a variety of different prices depending on the lab, how big of scans you're getting, if you're getting scans, if you're doing it yourself, etc. So again, this is solely just film prices, nothing else. Next up, and probably my favorite of all the suggestions, definitely the most shot of all of them, is Gold 200. Before I religiously shot Portra, which I'm starting to get away from, I would shoot a lot of Kodak Gold 200. Because of how cheap it is, especially at the time for only, I think $17 a 3-pack, it was a super cost-effective means of shooting film and getting nice, warm, airy shots out of a consumer budget film. Today, it's not as cheap at $30 at many back-ordered retailers, or you can bite the bullet and pay $58 to get it sooner on Amazon, which comes out to $10 and $19.33 per roll respectively. Ouch. Another cool thing though is Kodak just brought back Kodak 200 for 120 film as well, so I've been enjoying that too. So if you like the film, you can definitely switch over to medium format with the same film stock as well, which is pretty cool. Additionally, Gold 200 is not incredibly deep in its dynamic range and has a decent amount of grain structure. Despite this, I still think for its color range and cheapness, it's totally worthwhile to pick up and try in swapping out Portra. Another film that's worth mentioning, despite not having a lot of experience and not actually being on the market for very long, is Cinestill's 400D. Being most famous for their 800 speed tungsten film, Cinestill has released their new 400D film. While writing this, I haven't actually received my film back yet, so I can't specifically speak on my thoughts, but I've heard nothing but great things, and from all of their promo pics, they look honestly incredible. The color rendering, especially for portraits, seems really great. I've tested their 800T in a variety of ways and was impressed by the colors every time, even when shooting portraits, so I'm sure their 400D will be equally as impressive. I'll be making a video about my conclusive thoughts about it in the coming weeks, so make sure to stay tuned for that. Coming soon. 400D comes in at about $15 per roll, so while it might not be the most cost-effective means, it's practically the same price as Portra and definitely worth trying out for yourself. Who knows, maybe 400D will be the new Portra 400. Another film with a huge asterisk on if you can get it developed or if it's even economical would be Kodak's Vision 3 250D. This film is the famous Hollywood motion picture film stock hand-rolled onto 35mm photography rolls. While it sounds super interesting, this one is a little tricky as it needs ECN2 development, which is either processed at home using a kit or has to get mailed into a special lab. If you do try to develop at a lab with C41, it will ruin their machines, so definitely be careful if you order this film. I've never shot it, but it seems like an extremely unique way to shoot some 250 speed film, which I don't even think is offered in any other film format. But this is all granted the development costs, which I haven't actually looked into too much, aren't crazy, but I'm guessing because it is such a specific development style that it probably will be somewhat costly. Regardless of that, for only $10 a roll, this Kodak Vision 3 250D can't be bad to give it a shot. Honestly, maybe I'll be ordering a roll for a video because I haven't seen too much coverage on this itself. So that's gonna do it for my suggestions, guys. I'm gonna throw some videos in the description that show the differences between many of these films and Portra. Mostly so you can see how damn close they look compared side by side. Otherwise, let me know what your guys' favorite film stock is to shoot instead of Portra. Mine is probably the Gold 200, but honestly, I think the Cinestill 400D will soon take its place. Regardless, I'm curious to hear what you guys have been shooting with film prices steadily going up. Alright, so that's gonna do it for this video, guys. Let me know down in the comments if you've shot any of these films or what film you like to shoot instead of Portra. Again, not everything is gonna be exactly straight for straight 400 to 400. There were some suggestions in here that you will have to change the ISO meter on your camera, or you could shoot it at 400 to either over or underexpose it. But regardless, these are all good alternatives for shooting Portra. But that's gonna do it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Stay on the lookout for some more videos coming soon. And until next time, peace out.